What a beautiful day. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. This is Arts of the Round Table. My name is Mello, and this is Freeform Friday. We're going to do whatever we want. We're going to end the week on a high note, on a creative flow. We can do whatever we want. I'm glad because I am a bit all over the place today. I wanted it to ink, paint, draw. I wanted to do everything, make a mess, clean up. I just spent 20 minutes sharpening pencils for whatever reason. I got my ink brushes on the side. It's just one of those days. I'm just like brimming with creative energy, and I didn't know where to start. I'm in the middle of a bunch of different projects, and I'm okay with that. Having that type of energy around you is really good as a artist, as a creator. You know, there's a lot of stuff that are incomplete, a lot of stuff that need to get started, a lot of stuff that just kind of like in between, questions to be asked and questions to be answered, right? Creatively. So with that said, I hope you guys are having a fantastic morning so far. It's morning where I am, so good morning to you. I hope you're having a good time, man. Let me say what up to my peoples. Caleb was here earlier, hanging out behind the scenes. No, I'm kidding. What's up, Caleb? Good morning to you, sir. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope it continues to be fantastic. I'm just gonna clean up this palette real quick. I'll tell you what was going on. I was painting Dr. Doom, a portrait of Doom on Wednesday. And then I kind of paused for the stream, and then I wanted to clean up the palette. So when I did so, I ended up painting something else. Yeah, I'll show you guys both of those. So this is what I was painting on Wednesday. It's not done, obviously. I gotta work on that background. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with the colors in the name. I can't wait to start introducing the green so that this earthy color on his hood pops and everything will begin to make sense. Can I share something with you guys though? I've been using smooth, textured, clear gesso, and I've had successes with it, so I've enjoyed it. I've had some failures with it, or just had some weird hiccups. Can I show you? I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but because it's a smooth gesso, yeah, you see that blinding shininess on see how Doom's face, and you might be like, well, that's kind of cool. That's how the heck did you do that? Well, I didn't. The gesso has this weird glossiness to it. Yes, it works for that purpose, but if you look up real close, there is no color. I didn't paint in the parts that are shiny. See that? See how it's blank there? I don't know if I like that. I have some interesting ADHD that goes on with my mind, my creativeness, that I don't like specific patterns, and I don't feel comfortable looking at certain things. So seeing those, I don't know if you can, I keep moving the page, but I don't know if you guys can really see it, what I'm talking about. if I'm gonna keep it that way, it's going to be a fight the whole time mentally for me. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell. Good morning, Artfully Becoming. Artfully Becoming. Good morning to you. Hello. It's good to see you. Yeah, so a part of me wants to keep it because it does look cool, but once you move the painting, you'll notice that it's incomplete and there's gaps. So everywhere that it's shiny, because gouache is matty, everywhere where it's shiny has no paint, and that to me is jarring. It looks cool. If I was to tell people, yeah, I planned it, man, that's cool, but I didn't, and it's a happy mistake that is going to bother me because I have to paint this stuff. I have to paint it. Anyway, I hope you guys can see. If you can't, I'm going to have to figure out a way to share it. So that's what I did. I cleaned up the palette. And then I was doing a study of Alfredo Alcala. So I painted this yesterday. And you can tell my focus was right here. It was a really fun study of these odd colors and pigments. Stop that. And I like the ghostliness that the drawing that I used as reference is from his character created Voltar. Character created his original. What's the word? Character. Or creator owned? Creator owned. So that's the image that I used. I scanned it, and then using Photoshop 40p, I put a grid over it so that I can draw it to try to get it as close as possible. I thought I was gonna try to study his line work, which is I should have. I want to. I'm gonna do it. But this is Arch's paper, and drawing on this is kind of trash. But I had to try it. I had to do it. It's just there's too much texture to draw the way that I draw. I basically use my pencils like you would charcoal and do a lot of smudging and removing and adding and removing and adding, and I don't do very tight line work when I want to that way. Anyway, but I need to show you guys something. Look at that drapery. Look at the craftsmanship on that drapery. Not only is that drapery, this curtain here that he's standing on, it's compositionally amazing because it's drawing your vision through all of this amazing ink work. I'm going to be studying this dude's work. There's a reason why I've been picking up a lot of these Conan, old 1970s Conan, Marvel magazine Conans, the Conan Saga, the Sword of Conan, and even because a lot of these artists, Alfredo Alcala, John Buscema, and so on, even some young Neil Adams is in there doing inking and pencils. And I gotta show you guys something. So I'm gonna be studying like these expressions. You see that line work on that guy, the dual lighting? Isn't that crazy? That one, very EC Comics, very like Tales from the Crypt. Even that. Ooh, how's that for a morning sausage? But this 2-page spread of the enemies storming the castle. I don't know how you do that in pen. I don't know how the hell he did it in pencil. No, not one figure is drawn the same. There's so many different planes of interest. Move that out the way. You know, not interest. That's not what I mean. Like in 3D space, the dude in the dude down here. He anchors it. The fire across from him anchors it. The bridge, the drawbridge, the dude's body's a head, a leg, a arm. Come on, man. All in perfect perspective. Alfredo Alcala was something else, man. Different planes. Foreground, midground. There's a ton. The castle wall. Inside the castle wall with the representation of the fire. Another castle wall. Shadow, another castle. And on and on. And look at that sky. Now, I'll be sitting here waxing poetic on this. So, anyway, took a bit of his art. This is what I was... So, yeah. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so that's what I was talking about. So I want to clean this. I re-added water to my water palette. I'm going to save that white gouache. I'm going to try to find a way to not make a mess. And then we'll draw something, man. We'll ink something. I don't know. We'll do something. That's the whole point of today. Freeform Friday, y'all. We'll do whatever we want. When we want. Q Twisted Sister. Is today a Twisted Sister Day, or is it Beastie Boys Beastie Boys anthem? Artfully says she watched the Portrait Artist of UK series. Isn't it great? I on season 7, I think. And they had a girl on there that had a sheet with lines to draw the graph. Use it, then turn it, and complete the graph. Huh. I love that series. That series has been amazing. I've learned so much just looking at these artists, even though not a lot of gouache painters, surprisingly, considering it dries. Maybe it's because it dries so quickly. But then again, that's why you would use acrylic, I guess? I don't know, but I love the series. I've been going back and forth between the portraits and the landscapes. I've watched enough of the series to to not agree with the judges all the time. 13-year-old boy. Oh, I haven't seen. I think that's recent, right? He was the youngest contestant or the youngest participant. I'm a nerd, artfully, if you haven't guessed. So I've been watching from season 1. All right, that's Schwetz. Saboteur. Good morning, Charlie. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Where is my palette? Let me lower that for a second. You guys probably can't even hear it. It's probably louder on my ear. But yeah, man, the line art from Alfredo is just second to none. It really is. And what's interesting is that he was inking Buscema for a bit on Conan, or he would actually do the finishes. Do you guys see how just watery and like doesn't you look at it and go, that's not gouache? This wet palette has been, I've been singing his praises to the point that I need to contact these people and get endorsed by them. Save you guys some discounts. It's a $6 product, man. So I can get it for you for $4.45. Where are we? Yeah, so thank you, Caleb. Good morning again. I've been able to keep paints in here closed for a full week, and they've maintained schmoist the whole time. And I'm not talking about like, oh, that's shiny. I'm talking about that. You see how liquidy it could almost, the consistency of that? Crazy. All right, so, but I don't know if I'm gonna look at my hands. I don't know if I want to paint today. I was painting for hours yesterday. Would you guys be interested? Seeing how artfully and I been talking about the portrait artist of the year, they have a 4-hour limit. Would you guys be interested in doing a 4-hour portrait video, a live stream? We'll find. I'll put some feelers out on post. We'll see what we can do. Shauna, thank you for complimenting on the Doom. I appreciate that. There's more work to be done. I think what I'll do is maybe I'll wait till Wednesday. We'll do another workshop on it, a painting workshop, and I'll jump on the Doom, and because there's a lot to do left. A lot left to do. I've only had 1 cup of coffee, guys. I've been doing a lot of talking. I'm dope. I'm running out of fuel. But yes, so that show is always like, I can do, every time I watch an episode, I'm like, I think I could do that. I do 2-hour sessions. I could do that. And I think we should. I think that as a collective that we should. All right, I'm going to scooch that over. So I'll show you guys again. This is what I was doing yesterday. A little study on Alfredo Alcala. Adding adding paints to something that didn't have any. I don't think there's a color version. So this was really cool to try to imagine a palette. I also was earwigging myself to do a Spectre drawing. So I was working on, you can tell all my focus was right here. So, oh, Shauna, it isn't. I got, Shauna says, it's funny how the work is never done. No, man, I got maybe another 4 hours to go. This is super rough. Keep adding my layers. And then all that's going to pop when I start adding the black. I got some line art to do. Again, that shininess is driving me bananas. So yeah, that effect, that shiny effect that you guys see is basically bare artboard. See that shininess? It's bare artboard. And because this is matte, it really kind of like it's jarring to the eye up close. Sometimes the effect is cool. So I don't know how much more I'll be using that smooth surface clear gesso. But anyway. What else? Something cool that I did. So I didn't like drawing on this. So I tried printing. So this is the same sheet. This is Arches 140-pound paper. I've had it for years. And only used 2 sheets in real life. This is the 3rd sheet. I don't give a sheet. Yeah, this is the 3rd sheet. And this is just a reduced printout of my cover for a story I'm working on. And I hit a wall. right here for the sword. I think the composition is fine. I think the placement's great. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this kind of like power crap over here. I kind of just threw it in there because I had so many just lines on the paper. I was just trying to make sense of it. Don't like the hand, I don't like the sword, so I'm going to be dealing with that. But because I have worked on this so much that I need a new pair of eyes or I need a break from it. This took 2 days, 1 day longer than I wanted, but 2 days. One, because I wanted to share with you guys a lot about the story that I'm writing as much as I could without spoiling it. Share a bit of my characters, so that was fun. But then, yeah, this right here, hit the brakes. So I tested it out. I scanned it in, and then I printed it on this paper. And I'm gonna try to do some painting on this. Another painting. And because I don't have a palette either, meaning I don't have a color scheme right now in my mind, that's gonna be fun to figure out. Especially, that's what a lot of this is for. Figuring out how, if I can replicate this green glow of the hood for my creature's eyes. I'm sorry, I got a lot of glare because it's nice outside. So I want to replicate the glow of the eyes. Everything is a step. Everything is a part of the process. This thing, I'll never touch it again. It's incomplete. I kind of fell apart in them hands. So why do I show you guys something that is incomplete? Why do I show you guys something that there's certain bits of it that aren't as up to par as the other? And this is very, very rough. Because why not? Why not? There's so many other artists that don't show this stuff to you. They gatekeep it and keep all of their questions and keep all of their actions to themselves because everybody's stealing, AI stealing, you're stealing, I'm stealing everybody's stuff. Don't let me catch you, I'll steal it. But here, man, you guys, you steal it. Do with it what you want. All we can say is good luck, let's go for it. All right, that's that. On a lighter note, some rogue. I did this last 2 weeks ago or a week ago. I haven't finished this. Hey DW, not necessarily Spectre yet. That was just kind of like a base for some questions I had on atmosphere and painting. But thanks, man, and welcome. Good morning. You like works in progress? Yeah. Me too. I like the building blocks, seeing the building blocks. They have a desk plate that says that for videos, or steal everything. Heck yeah, man, let's do it. Oh, good luck. So, there's a really cool story right now with that was going on with this. Hold on, let me close my blinds 1 second. Sorry about that. Oh, good lord. I'm hot. Shona says, Gambit was always my favorite X-Man to draw something about the cards and force perspective. Yeah, he was so cool. He was. I'm going to show you a Gambit piece for a hot second. DW says, phew, thought you did the Rogue and the Spectre thing all in one day. No, all I did was the painting yesterday. Who's going to get Mo jealous? Nah, man. I don't work. I'm unemployed, so I have way too much time in my hands. I take care what needs to be taken care of here in my home. All my children work, so I make sure that they get to work on time. So yeah, this is the only thing. When people go, man, which I've already gotten, and I'll take it as a compliment. I've already gotten side-eyed and weird comments about my progress or my progression within the last 6, 7, or even a year. People make the assumption that I haven't been drawing for the last 30 plus. So they've only been paying attention for the last few. So that kind of shocks them a bit. Well, when you are unemployed and you have a little bit more time in your hand, and if this is what your goal in life is going to be, then you're going to spend a lot more time doing that stuff, right? If you're a weightlifter, people don't notice the gains. If you're a chef, people start noticing those grilled cheese sandwiches with a little bit of paprika. For me, it's just been constant, and I'm constantly asking myself, I'm checking myself, I'm like, you need to do better, you can do that better. What was fun about this piece? What was terrible about that? What did you learn from it? Can you repeat it? Which the answer most of the time is no, I can't repeat it. Why can't you repeat it? You know, it becomes an old school martial arts movie where I'm both the old master and the new trainee. So again, and bamboo across the knuckles. And that's a lot. Anywho, no, but I do try to do something every day. Even if I'm not on screen, on live stream, I don't do any of this stuff on the weekends, but I'm always either taking notes, reading stuff, and absorbing. This thing, I really should date him a bit better. I only put in the year. There's an artist right now that I met on Instagram that's painting over this piece, and it's really cool. He's using the old school Catwoman color scheme, like the purple, and it's very dark. It's very cool. I can't wait for him to finish, so you guys can check it out. My Rogue. I don't know if this is done. You guys think this is done? I might have to scan it in so I can ink it. I think a lot of this is in shadow anyway. I think that's what we're going to do next time. On one of our workshops I'll do, which is going on the inks. I got to fix that S. The S is so difficult, but I have appreciated it lately. Even though the movies aren't so good. The James Gunn S, which is basically that. Is that like cheating? Just no longer do we have to draw the weird anyway, whatever makes it easy for us. That's that. My Silver Surfer, some dude said, or somebody online said he has some thick thunder ties. I say, hey, that's my type. Some back, all of these. If you guys are aspiring artists, inkers, artists, whatever, if you guys are interested in inking over these or painting over these or whatever, just hit me up a DM and I'll send you a copy of these via email. It don't matter to me. I never got to finish fixing Timothy Dalton's face, but I think that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to do another Iron Man. I love that suit. because, cool enough, I'm doing another collaboration with this guy, with Chuck Gibson. This was my first attempt at printing out our collab, and it ruined. But look how sharp those colors are. Yeah. Put that away. That's cool, DW. I'm glad those small joys, man. You gotta take them. You gotta take them. That was 2 years ago. I wish I could have kept the reference I used. It would be cool to revisit that. Doesn't that look like Chloe Moretz? I was struggling with that one. I couldn't get a lot of variation on the skin tone, but that doesn't look too bad. Very plain. I have a narrative video, if you guys are interested in how I was able to do these. This was a video about practicing different techniques and different styles. Look at how just Gypsy, we gotta paint this Wolverine one day. It's already been I might have to put some I need words. I need to put a backwash on this. An underpainting. I was thinking of doing an underpainting in red. Oh, that's my house. All right. And my David. When I tell you I've been trying to build a painting for David and Goliath from every different angle, this one is one of my favorites. It was one of the first ones I saw this vision. It was cool. I gotta do it. I think I'm overthinking it 100%. We'll see. No reference for David. Yeah, I'll show you the original. I know this was one of the when I started doing the thumbnails for. All right, so this was the original from like a fevered vision. And I don't do that often. I've been trying to do it more lately, thumbnails and stuff like that, but I don't do it often because I sometimes feel it's a waste of energy when you want to go and draw. I know it's counterculture. There's so many videos that I've seen. One recently where the guy's like, "Oh, this drawing technique changed my blah blah blah," and it blew my mind. It opened everything, all the possibilities, and then spent the first 15 minutes of his video talking about sketching. sketching and practicing more than you're comfortable with. I'm like, well, thanks for the advice. But I think it's just the level of sketching that we do. Um, and I think with me is that I don't like to fail small. I don't like if I'm gonna fail, I want to fail big. I want to make it. I want to make it as painful as possible, I guess. So doing mini sketches, I think is helpful. I really do. I'm as I trash it. I really do think it's helpful. I don't think it's helpful for me. I don't like dying. What is it? Death by 1,000 cuts. I don't like that feeling. Um, when I fail, if I was to fail on this, it'd be like getting cleaved in half. Like, ugh. But the scar is bigger, and if you survive it and you move forward, you're stronger. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. So you don't have to take my word for it. Shona, there you go. All of that just I can show you my Gambit and Rogue. There's a video here. There's a video on my channel. You can check it out. This is actually, I was able to spray this with fixative and it has not dulled. Isn't that cool? I thought the fixative would have, because it's a fluid, I thought it was going to reactivate the gouache. There you go, DW. Very similar. Sometimes, Drywall Talking says, sometimes I do a thumbnail and then don't want to do the piece. I already succeeded at putting my idea on paper and want to do something else. Yes. Yes. That's kind of like what I deal with. It's just, how they say, it's different strokes for different folks, man. And that's kind of like my thing. I don't do a lot of thumbnails. Are they helpful? Yes. Is a lot of practicing helpful? Yes. And I am trying to incorporate that. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite about it. I've been showing you guys different versions or ideas for my Goliath pieces or giants or titans or even David himself. But I guess I am hiding the fact that I'm doing a thumbnail in a practice or in a perspective sheet. Oh, I'm not really drawing a titan or a giant or Goliath. I'm trying to see how I can draw in perspective. That I can do. That I can do. That I can trick my mind that way. Oh, it's a study. Maybe we should trick our minds to doing that on everything. Everything's a study. Oh, the Gambit and Rogue. Sorry if I moved too quickly. There's a delay on between the chat and my reaction. Beautiful, gorgeous, love the stylization and the colors here. Yeah, thank you. This was originally going to be a Joker face. Just that. So that's how I started. That was going to be my Joker. Maybe it was somewhere in a smile. Maybe there was something that I didn't see. All of a sudden, I didn't see the Joker in it and scrapped it. The hardest part was that because this was successful, and then I had to draw a rogue, and I'm like, whoa, the heck, man? I wanted to be a little bit softer. I've been trying to, and there's something about me when I paint a male face and a female face, I don't want to use too much blending and tiling. So I used a lot of water and allowed, and did my blending as it was wet. Very wet on wet, almost watercolor style. Except on certain areas like where I knew I wanted to be darker, like in her eyeshadow. in some of these harsher shadows with the purple, and then just held back. Oh, this is during. I kind of like. I want to redo this with the two lighting. With the two. This is all using just my Pentel brush pens, and then dip in water to get that wash effect, obviously. Some are successful, some aren't. I don't know what I was thinking with this. Actually, I do know what I was thinking with this. There's a book out by Ralph Vance that I did the cover for. It's called The Theology of Lust. And I did the cover, and I did some illustrations for the inside, and we had some kind of like a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? I was hoping that he let me go a little bit nuts on some of the villain looks. There are certain characters. The hero, in a fever dream, he notices these two antagonists that have been bothering throughout the novel. They look like crow people, and because I didn't read the book, I only read certain snippets of what he sent me and wanted me to focus on for the illustrations. I kind of went nuts with the crow look. But then he wanted me to, you have to respect the author, and you have to respect the person. It's like doing a commission for someone, and it was paid work, so I toned it down. But some of the ideas I had, I put them out on paper anyway. Maybe I'll, I think I have, hold on one second. Shoot, it's definitely Freeform Friday. We haven't even drawn anything. I will draw something. We will draw something. Little lekker study. Like that. Like that. Oh, there you go. I was going to do a Moses. His arms are off. Little hippie. This fantastic. This Mr. Fantastic make me laugh because his tight butts in the background. So, based on his description on these people that were the antagonists, very bird-like in nature, and they were kind of like. So I kind of like before we went into the stuff that he was wanted me to go through. I'm like, let me go nuts for a hot second. Let me see if I can convince you that this is what they look like. And 1, 2. These are illustrations for. This is a mix. I was doing some work with a book publishing company here in Florida, and it was really amazing. The people were amazing, and then it just kind of like it stopped. It kind of sucks. I did about 7 covers. I did about close to almost 30, 40 illustrations. But they don't belong to me anymore. But I do have some thumbnails. And maybe one day, well, maybe not today, I won't do it, but someday. So yeah, man, I'm like, crow people, bro. Let me get you some nightmare fuel. Ultimately, they were denied. So they were supposed to look. So I think this was the first one, based on what he was saying. He wanted them to look like specific people. I wonder if this was... Now I can't remember which one was first. I'll have to look through emails. Doesn't matter. But then again, I have to respect that this wasn't a illustrated style novel. It was a novel based on realistic events. It was actually based on actual events. A little bit of creative fiction, but based on actual events. The Theology of Lust, if you guys are interested. These illustrations aren't in that book. It is the business model was a little bit weird, honestly. They were going to do a standalone paperback style, small novella style book, and then do a bigger kind of like a director's cut with my illustrations in it, which would have been cool. But there was just no traction, and there was no presence, so nobody knew what the heck. Nobody knew. So I even, in hindsight, I actually kind of stopped money coming in my direction, because I'm like, why are you requesting these illustrations when you don't even know of the interest for what you're doing? Nobody knows what you're doing, what we're doing. We're in a vacuum here. I can take your money, but why don't we try to be successful one step at a time, instead of trying to leap 3 or 4 steps and risk busting our chins up? So anyway, that was the business guy in me. The artist in me should have been like, hell yeah, I'm gonna keep give me all your money. So yeah, these were all rejected, which is why I have them. But I love them. They look great. These are for a different book. So this was for Theology of Lust. These were for these were illustrations on a book called Given Full Details. It was poetry and short stories based on social injustice and the stuff that we're dealing with today within the last 10-15 years. As you can tell, people living on their cell phones, their communications with each other. So these were illustrations. I have these in digital. These were awesome to do. I was able to pick and choose which poems I wanted to do the illustrations for. So these were going to be a series of poems, and then boom, my illustration over the next poem. I left that one. That was from a friend of mine by the name of Sterling Jordan. The story was arson. The poetry was arson. I never met the person when I did this sketch. This was just based on a story. And when I got to speak to the dude, he was like, "He looks just like me," which I thought was hilarious. It doesn't. I think it has a likeness, but not. I think he may have been projecting, but I appreciate him. He's a good dude. I am going to have to call him and see how he's doing. A little wellness check. All right, blank. Some of this stuff I probably shouldn't be able to show. This was cool to design. In the novel Theology of Lust, it's the main character is this is supposed to be him plotting out like a map. So one of the ideas I had that stayed was like, well, is he an artist? No. Then would it be kind of cool if the illustrations that I make for the book aren't as clean as I would make them if you want to go with the black ink look, that it looks like a guy, which is kind of like, messed him around. But yeah, these are the These are the ones that were. I love that shot. I love this one more. So anyway. Yeah. I gotta be careful. I don't know how much I can show. So, I think that'll be alright. But yeah. So that was cool. And then I was able to take that map and put it in Photoshop and add effects like crinkled up like and stains. I actually try to use my inkwell, dip it in ink and put it on top of the paper to give that effect. That's for my characters, Mistletoe and Holly. Alright, are we empty in here? We are empty. Alright. Ooh. Alrighty. I think we should draw something. What do we got? Been here an hour? Yeah, I think we should draw something. So, party peoples, what are you guys doing for the weekend? Anything? Nothing? I gotta do the oil change to my car. I want to do another Iron Man. Chuck Gibson and I are going to do an Iron Man in circa 1980s style. But there's a specific artist, Bob Layton and John Romita Jr., that I'm trying to emote. So, but I also wanted to have my style and look. So, plus I'll give you guys an idea how to little workshop on a Friday. Why not? I gotta keep him in here. That's the action line. That's gonna be his foot. His helmet. If that's his helmet, his hand. Okay. A little bit of measuring. All the emotion and the action has to be in the figure, right? Because if you do an Iron Man and he has his helmet, you can't see what he's doing. All right. You're gonna do hosting 2 art groups, watching gymnastics, and drawing more. That's fantastic. I'm gonna attempt a moose. Hopefully not. Hey, the art group that you host says something that anybody can join. Is there any info that you can share with the party? You got enough candy to share? That's like if you got caught with chewing gum in class. DW, you got enough for the class? All right, here we go. But yeah, I want to exaggerate this form. It's kind of nuts. I'm trying to have a good time here with this Iron Man, knowing what it's going to mean. But it's nothing like a professional inker just casually asking you to, not casually, we did talk about it. I don't mean it like that, like if I'm hot business, but waiting for something from you and you're like, but dude, you're, what are you waiting on me for? How dare you wait on me? No pressure on me then. You guys can't see that, can you? You let me know if the camera is fine. I'll zoom in if I have to. biceps up here. I wanted to make it absurd. We're doing 80s, but this type of 80s Iron Man was so cool. Was almost in the, so it must be late 80s. His suit had muscles. So, but I want to make him slim. To show the muscles. All right. The thing is that it's very specific, the look we're looking for, trying to get. But I want to pay enough homage, but not completely copy. And it's hard because those JR and Bob Layton has such a unique and beautiful style that the only way to give proper homage is to steal it. Yeah, dude, if you can, I can make you a moderator real quick if you want to share the link. And just let me know, no pressure. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to do rough. This figurine is so misproportioned, but he's great to use. I keep moving him. Yeah, I want to give it enough oomph. And I don't know how tight I should draw this thing. I want to give... Chuck is an artist himself, so I don't want to pave the lanes too tight. You know what I'm saying? If he has a Jeep, I want to be able to go off-road. And my art metaphors aren't very good. Yeah, I don't know if it'll let you. Let me see. Give me 1 second. But I might have to do it on this side. I'm gonna add you as moderator if you want to re-add. I think. All right. See if you can re-add that link, bud. If you don't mind, I appreciate you. If you wanna. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using my figure to create the what's the word I'm looking for? the box of where I'm going to put all the detail in. Doy, like the silhouette. Oh, thank you, bro. I'm going to click on that. Heck yeah, man. All right, I don't have a Discord account, so I'll be doing that when we jump off here. And heck yeah, man, why not? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. All right, bicep. I have a couple of things open on my Pinterest as well to help me. So I'm not doing all of this totally blind. Like I said, I didn't know what I was going to work on. I knew I wanted to work on something. All right, so I'm going to make this the energy blast. I hope Chuck appreciates drawing any energy blasts. But what I have open is I have some images of, I just put 80s Iron Man. And I have Arnold Schwarzenegger. Those are my two. What's it called? What's I know it's Pinterest, but what are they called? Mood boards? No. You know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. Very nice community, even without signing up for an artwork subscription on their website. Was the first art community I was part of. Was nice finding people that love art and talk about. Yeah, man. I think that's awesome. That's awesome. The thing about this figure, I love that side piece too. That side figure. That would have been a cool shot right there. But I want him in your face. Some rockets down here. Okay, I want to give us enough space for our signatures because we're vain. All right, so I might have to go and look at his suit. But I think that's pretty much it. And then it's kind of like striped undies. He has his nips are up here. You know what it is? Again, it's a weird my weird measuring, and I do it a lot in my mind. You got to remind me next time I do an art workshop on the Wednesdays to bring it up. But I basically do this, and it'd be kind of hilarious if it doesn't fit. But I always have a trouble when drawing on paper, either making them too big or too small. Already, he's really tight in this frame. His feet are down here, hand up here. But this is really what's important. What's cool about this, I'm also thinking like a comic book guy. To make your figure look larger than life, you almost want him popping out of the page. Something about it has to pop out of the page. This is our field of view, right? This is all we have. So if he's sticking out, that gives you an immense sense of bigness, if that's a word. But anyway, this is how I usually do my measurements. I knew I wanted his feet down here, so I did a quick line. And I knew I wanted his head up here because of the way I was holding the figure. His hand was higher. So I knew the hand was going to be the highest part of my page, so I kind of like eyeballed it. But yeah. Top of the crown of the head, the chin. I've shown this before, and I'll put my pencil on the chin. I put my middle finger on the crown, Try to keep that position there. And then I move my middle finger to the chin. I mark it. And then further down and further down. My figures are on average 7 to 8 heads, meaning this is my unit of measure. Do you guys remember what that means? I think the people in the UK make fun of us when we use a unit of measure that doesn't exist. Like we'll say, it's a lineup of chickens, or how we measure when we use several football fields to measure as a way to describe how long something is or vast. Anyway, Saboteur says, I'm the same way. I have an issue keeping my stuff on pages, so when I go to scan, you cheat and shrink. Yeah, dude. That is why, if you guys noticed these comic book pages, that's why I have, where are they? Oh, no, great. That's why I superimposed these grid lines in there. Because it kind of helps me mentally. It creates a visual border on the page instead of having to draw it out. Which I guess I could always just put a square. I could always just put a square. I want to show you guys something. It was a weird experiment. You see this figure, right? I had this paper on the side of my desk over here, and I don't want to change my pose, so I'll use my other guy. So I use this figure. You guys got to live in the world with me. I use this figure, and I posed him here, right? And the way he was standing and the way I was sitting, it was in this angle. Does that make sense? Right? So if I was just to, so this is how he would appear on that page from my mind's eye, right? So I use a blank paper, put the grid lines on it, and tried to match what I saw. Does that make sense? In real time. I've seen other artists do it, and they make it look like it's 3D, an actual 3D figurine or object popping out of the page. I didn't think it was going to work for me, and it kind of did, and it kind of didn't, but it gave it such a weird perspective that works, right? Again, this isn't always the best figure to use for proper proportion, because he got like baby legs. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's very light. See the graph. And this graph, I would sometimes draw it, but I just went ahead in Photoshop and Photopea and created my graph in there, put it on blue line, change the opacity, and now I can just print right over my sheets if necessary. I've been going back and forth about using it and not using it. Sometimes it's too loud in my mind, right? It's too loud. So where's the knee? I think I twisted the knee. I have a Canon Pixma PIXMA printer. A large format printer. It's awesome. I I just printed on watercolor paper this morning based on my test when I was trying to draw on that arches. I printed on arches paper this morning because I like the paper. I want to do more paintings on it. I just didn't really enjoy drawing on it. And it sucks because I love to draw. So if you're making the part that I love the most uncomfortable part, we're not going to have a good time. Do you have a reference for the 70s Iron Man? Is that the 80s? I'm using the 80s version. He has the widow's peak, the slit for the eyes and mouth. Yeah, it's the Bob Layton look. But what's real cool about the Bob Layton Iron Man images that I've seen is the battle damage ones that he has, where he'll either be keeled over, some of his armor's all jacked up. Love that stuff. So a lot of still heroic poses. And this may not be the one we do, but it depends. I'm already kind of digging the way it's coming out. Plus, I want to give Chuck a challenge here. Chuck a challenge? Because what makes those drawings stand out the most is the rendering, the metal rendering, which is, I know, and I'm not speaking for him in that sense, what Chuck wants to do. That's what I want to do. What does he have? Bam, bam, bam. Does he have a belt? Not quite. Okay. That's not very... Okay, whatever. It's just, I'm gonna make it lower. Oh, here. I'll put that there. But yeah, I printed on, this is that Archer's 140-pound paper, 9x12. This is just a blue line version of my cover that I've been working on. I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I think I'm gonna try to ink it, or I'm just gonna paint over it, do some testing, then, you know, and figure it out. Make all my mistakes here. Find my peoples. Wepa. I still gotta fix the Dalton. So this is the version of Iron Man I'm working on. This is using a fitness model. I think his name is Lee Haney, but I don't think that's his name. I think it is, but I don't think it is. So yeah, I just that's it, man. We're gonna keep the shoulders in. The design is so cool. It doesn't make any lick of sense. But it is cool. It's too stiff, but I guess that makes sense. This is the same figurine I used to do Beta Ray Bill. I'm doing a collaboration soon with Ginger Bear. If you guys don't know who that is, he's an amazing artist as well. Comic book creator and artist. He's working on his own character and book. That should be cool. I don't want to use those stiff abs, and I don't want to use his, so I actually have a shot, but I want him to look realistic. Alright, I don't know if I should start rendering just yet. What's really cool about this style of drawing, not because it's my drawing or anything like that, but because I do a lot of noodling and trying to find the figure. If you were to zoom in, you can use those as a cheat to figure out details, design, or scratches, or or anything. Do so many lines and scribbles that by the time you do start rendering it tightly, it'll be unique. It'll be unique to you anyway. See, I don't know what this is. It looks like a ball. What's cool is that Chuck does digital inks. I think that's what he's gonna do on this. I don't know if I know he still does traditional. Analog, as we say, I guess. But if he does, either way, he has to print it, so he could fix the printing. Yeah, they add texture. They add a little bit more life to it. Energy. There's one thing that I've been picking up a lot when critics, not for comic book art or something like that, or even just paintings, it has so much energy, this, that, and the other, and how do you get that off a static image? Some of it could be just the way the lines are thrown in there. I gotta figure out how to do an energy blast here. The tricky part is gonna be this back arm. How do you coolify it? This has to move up. I was digging it too. I gotta find a better or more versatile tool to make circles, oblong shapes. Shout out to the oblong shapes. What I really wanted to do, man, that's a small dome, that's great, is tear off a bit of this armor and show Tony Stark's face. What do you guys think? Too much? Maybe I can do two of them. I'm just gonna throw it in there and see what it looks like. Cause how cool would it be to have Tony Stark's 80s perm flying in the wind here. I'm trying to, like I said, these guys have had great images of battle damage. Let me zoom in for y'all. Let me get a little closer to you guys. But then it makes it harder for me because I have to make this helmet make sense. Alright, this is my sleepy jazz. I gotta move it. It may be too much on the nose on what I did with the Rocketeer, though. I had kind of like the same idea with the Rocketeer. But it'll look cool if we can pull it off. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? I'm gonna have to draw inside this helmet. Yeah, just because it'll help me with the eye and the mouth slits. Keep your pencils sharpened. I still don't dig the fact that they went and grabbed Robert Downey to do Doom. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure he's gonna nail it. So I guess. But they could have recast it for Kang. It's not like that actor was synonymous with Kang. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Wesley Snipes and Blade. You know, he is Blade. There'll only be one Blade. What was that guy's name? That's terrible. He's a really good actor, too. Oh, Jonathan Majors. Okay. They could have recasted him. They could have recasted oh my lord, Chadwick Boseman as well, but I understand. But that just goes to show, well, did you guys not have any other stories for him? That's it? I understand paying respect and homage. You can do all of that. I don't know. It's not my money. Ultimately, it's never going to be my decision. I was happy with the changes. We're going to be talking. Well, let's talk about Black Panther. Why not? I was happy with the changes. Or, yeah, the creative changes for Namor. But then they ruined his potential. I don't think they knew how to conclude that story properly. And you can tell their budget kind of disappeared at the end of that movie because that fight over the water was cartoonish in appearance at best. I think the introduction of Riri Williams was unnecessary. And I think the world showed it as well. Anybody watch her show? I didn't. And I got nothing against female heroes. But I don't think that was the time to introduce her. I don't know how I'm going to do this hair. I might scrap this idea altogether, but it doesn't look bad. I don't think so. Yeah, this is gonna be the hardest part, but the funnest. Sorry, I'm not checking my other chat, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I got stuck in here. Just closing my stuff here. Save it all. Save it all. Bam. Cool. Here we go. What I think I'll do is I'll do my best, and then I'll tell I'll tell Chuck, hey man, disregard all my rendering and do it how you would instinctively do it. Because I know he has something in mind. He must. How much have you spent your life drawing boxes, and while undoubtedly helpful with perspective, do you think beginners should start with those? Ah, honestly, honest answer. I'm going to read the question again. The question is, how much have you spent your life drawing boxes? And while undoubtedly helpful with perspective, do you think beginners should start with those? I'm gonna be super duper honest with you. The only time that I've drawn boxes like that in the form of study was in school. Was in the 3 months that that I was in Bunker Hill Community College, because we had a proper art class. When I went to the graphic design, when I went to school for graphic design, none. How often do I draw boxes on my regular? None. None at all. But it was those fundamental classes, Art 101. If you have a good teacher the way I did for those 3 months, the way he was able to help us understand perspective using boxes or using it was life painting, life drawing. Is it helpful? Sure, but I'm trying to think. But the question ultimately is, do you think beginners should start with those? Yes, they should. They really should. Because one of the things that you'll notice the quickest with beginner artists is how bad their perspectives are, how bad their perspective is in their drawings. Either it's stiff or it's off or it's crooked or this, that, and the other. And they can try to say, yes, there's creative license. I don't think so, honestly. And it's a telltale of a person who didn't go through those basics. And that might be the nicest way you'll hear it. Artists that that'll bring up their work to professionals, they're going to trash you if you don't. Just letting you know, if that's what you want to do. Even if it's just a hobby, yes. Do boxes. Do the basics. You don't have to do it forever. You just need an understanding. Because what your mind's going to end up doing is always going to be circling back to those boxes. Everything you see will be in that perspective. If I never would I have been able to figure it out? Maybe. But you're only going to figure it out holding a box, looking at a box. It's really difficult to freehand perspective. It's really difficult even to freehand perspective using rulers. When you break it down into the mathematical sense, so yes, the boxes, perspectives, life drawings. If you have spheres, cones, tubes, and boxes. They do help. Edward Stenkov says, nice sketch. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you, Edward. Yeah, when it comes to basics, stuff like that, as boring as they may be, they are really important to know, or at least to have a form of understanding of them. The three forms, I feel, is the curve, which turns into the sphere, a line which turns into a square, and then you combine a curve from the sphere and lines of a square, you get your tubes. The Proco series is extremely helpful. They really do, and I don't try to foo-foo it, but I don't know if DW, you don't mean the box in terms of drawing the figure. You just mean kind of like in art general, right? In overall, but yeah, I think so. Not only just in perspective, I think that in form building, yes. If you can break down a very complicated figure into those shapes, a square, a circle, a cone, a tube, until humanity creates a different shape, those basic shapes will teach you everything. Will help you They won't teach you everything, but they'll help you in all your pieces. I can't draw cars. I shouldn't say can't. I currently do not like drawing cars because of their rigidness, and it's because of my because I didn't finish appreciating the way I can break things into cones, squares. I mean, shoot, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. They use a box when it comes to drawing a car. Like if I can look at a car and break it into shoe boxes and then start adding, that's a different story. It's very difficult for me to draw inorganic things, vehicles, that type of stuff, buildings, because the line is so finite. It has to be right, because our mind will tear it to pieces. That is not right. That building's to the side, is crooked. Yeah, but that's perspective. Everybody has that struggle. But you gotta have those basics. You really do. And everything's hidden in those basics, right? Even the Loomis method and the Riley, when it comes to drawing the face, what do? They show you the sphere. They show you how to cut it into squares. They divide it as such. Come on, man. It's in everything. It's everywhere, man. I think it's a cool idea. I don't know if it works. Right? Because why would it just be that section of the face? So, sorry, Tony. And that face in that position isn't very heroic. That's the one thing, the waxy nature of those Prismacolors pencils. I mean, obviously, I don't know if we're using it the way we're supposed to, but I think that yeah, my struggle is with that stuff. It's just the way I learned, or I guess the way I taught myself, is that I have this weird cartoonish realism style. I'm not saying that it's weird, but shoulder, bicep, forearm, wrist. That's a bit more dynamic, I think. Now I gotta figure out a cool pose for that hand. That works a little bit better for me. Propelling, it almost looks like he's propelling that, forcing himself, this upper body's pushing against that repulsor beam or whatever it's called. Special beam, got it. Any advice about foreshortening? Avoid it as much as possible. It is so difficult, foreshortening, and it's something that can be very difficult, but extremely gratifying. I'm trying to see if I can. Let me see if I can grab a piece of paper. The way I do foreshortening, depending on what it is, I'm going to use an arm. One, because there's one next to me, but when I went to school for graphic design and communication, one of the things that I was learning there was 3D modeling. I did very little 3D modeling, but that's a huge understanding in 3D space with cones, squares, and all of that in perspective. I'm trying to think. You have to, when it comes to foreshortening, I think you just have to have an understanding of, you have to draw through the figure first when you're building up. I just drew Tony's Iron Man's arm coming forward, right? So we know there's shoulders, the delts, the biceps, the tricep, the forearm, and the hand, right? And if it's closer to us, it's larger. So let's use squares for example. So this is going to be my fist. Little Cobra Kai fist, right? Even though you may not see the majority of it, you have to do the forearm. So let's just do another square. And I'm drawing through my fist. It's hard to see. And this might not even help you guys. The bicep is going to be in there somewhere. We may not even see it. So, but I'm using a circle here. So I'm going to assume that the bicep is in here. So that's why earlier when you saw me building my figure, I did a lot of ghosting. For me, that just means that I am ghosting the form inside. That's my shoulder. Shoulder, bicep hidden, forearm here, my fist. It's just a lot of looking at human anatomy. You have to be, let's do this here. Right? We're going to lock this in place. I'm just going to put a padlock here. And we're going to rotate. This is where I think most of the if you're going to do practicing, if you're going to bypass thumbnail sketches and things of that nature, all right, that we was talking about earlier, and you're going to study, this is the type of study that I would recommend. I don't do it as often because I'm always trying to put these into practice whenever I use them. So I don't practice them all the time, which is why you'll see me struggling sometimes when I'm trying to draw freehand, or if I'm not using a reference or anything like that, or one of my figures. And we're going to lock it. You can it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. There is no easy way. You just have to find a good resource and just keep at it, and look at things in different perspectives. Look at everything. Look at tubes and see how you would be able to draw that. But I think the biggest thing for me, what helped me the most, is that ghosting, that sketchiness of drawing through the figure. Shoulder, muscle, forearm, fist. That kind of makes sense. Think about a snowman, right? I don't think about snowmans often because I live in Florida. But can I tell you guys, since I've moved here, since I've lived here, I dream about snow far too often. So if you think about a snowman, right? You guys see that snowman? How would you draw that snowman from above? If he was in God's eye view, it would look very much like circle, circle, an eyeball. Foreshortening may be one of the more difficult, but it learned will be one of the things that'll make your stuff stand out the most. Do a lot of studying, cheat if you have to. There are ways to trick the eye with bad anatomy to do it if that's what you're going to do. But honestly, the best way to do it is grab objects that are near you and practice looking at them in different angles. Put them in weird positions in your face, just so that you can see that. Yes. So what artfully said, use a box inside a box. Yeah, man. This will help me. This will help. The cover for my eraser. Plus it has the lines inside. But then you have to figure out where the horizon lines are going to be. Oh, you guys remember that? You guys remember I made that look as if it was more artistic than it should have been. You guys remember doing this in school where you would draw a square and just draw another square in front or underneath or above and then just match the lines? Who knew we was doing geometry? Who knew we was drawing energon cubes? Who? So if you keep, even that helps. What if we was to use that to do our arms, right? That's my tube. Let's go to right here. My tube. And I think the only difference is that if it's in front, the second piece has to be larger. So it'll appear like it's in front of you. And then it all becomes about shading. You guys see that? We just broke it, guys. We just broke it. We figured it out. Depending where that light's from. Yeah, the cylinder piece is really... This cylinder piece is helpful, especially for me because I used the sphere and the cylinder mostly for most of my artwork. I just don't always show it. But I'm in my mind, I am thinking of all of those things. You could already see here from the ghosting of the image where I have his arm, where his arm's going to be. This is his forearm. I already had a smaller circle in front for the wrist. And those same rules apply. That's the bicep here. The hardest part is always going to be distance, because naturally his arm shouldn't look that tight, like a you know. But these are great practice. Thank you for bringing these up, because I don't do this often on my spare time, or at all. It's been a while, or at all. But if it wasn't for the fact that I knew them from way back when, you only need to learn so much of it. Your mind will take care of itself. It just changes. Like, I didn't think of the spheres and the circles in so long because I'm gonna put a shade right here. Because of my small history with 3D modeling. Because in 3D modeling, that way. So they already have the assets built for you. You know, it was very rare that I would have to generate a sphere or a circle or anything like that quickly. Put in my boopy boops. Put in my circle in 3D space. Click on those polygons. Extrude a certain amount on the XYZ axes. I just don't fall back on it as often as I should. Because this would absolutely help me with perspective. If you can make the mechanical part of learning this stuff into an organic experience, your mind will recall it. I think. All right. I think I got my form. I'm going to look into some Pinterest images on how to do power. Maybe. Let me see. What I want to do is, well, I could always do Kirby Crackle, can't I? Change the shading to the inside, usually how they show power. And then partially and you gotta make sound effects. That was a very bad repulsor ray sound effect. Ouch. All right. I think what I'm going to have to do is just sharpen my pencil and just get into some of these details. Erase and align. And I think we Gucci, man. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this Friday. I know it was kind of like all over the place. But that's what Freeform Friday is, guys. It's whatever happens, happens. Let's embrace that chaos, put it into creativity. But yeah, so I'm going to let the music play. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me on Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. Hope you guys do something creative. If not, hang out, relax, don't do nothing. I gotta do oil changes. That's what I'm gonna be doing. I might do another power source right here. Keep it balanced. But there might be too many balls of energy here. See what my editor says. Maybe I'll just send the preliminary picture to Chuck. See if he gives me the thumbs up or not. But man, we're just having fun. Thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate you. This is Arts of the Round Table. This is what we do here. We try to draw, paint, ink, talk about comics, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. God bless you. I love you. Mean it. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye-bye. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your peoples. No, I appreciate you. Bye-bye, everybody. Peace.